Rivers have always been the lifeblood of civilizations, nurturing lands and sustaining communities for thousands of years. In Asia, great rivers like the Brahmaputra are cultural symbols, economic arteries, and sources of immense natural power. For India, for China, harnessing the energy of these rivers is a critical step to securing their future. A single mighty river system now sets the stage for an ambitious, tense infrastructure race. Both countries look to this waterway to quench a growing thirst for electricity and development. Yarlung Zangbo, Tibet. Siang River, Arunachal Pradesh. Brahmaputra, Assam. This transboundary river sits at the heart of a colossal engineering rivalry. New Delhi and Beijing have unveiled plans for monumental dams on this system. These projects can reshape landscapes and alter flows for millions downstream. They are not simple infrastructure. They are national statements, symbols of technological prowess and strategic assets. The scale promises unprecedented clean energy for homes and industry. They offer a path away from fossil fuels. They help control devastating floods. They provide tools to manage water in a changing climate. Both nations pour billions and decades into turning blueprints into concrete on the roof of the world. But the race is fraught with tension and controversy. When neighbors build massive structures on the same river, stakes are sky high. Decisions in one country can profoundly affect the other. Water supply, crops, livelihoods. As India and China push their hydro ambitions, they aren't just building dams. They are navigating a geopolitical current that could define their relationship for generations. China has embarked on a project of truly staggering proportions. In the remote, rugged terrain of Melog County in Tibet, officially dubbed the Project of the Century by Premier Li Qiang. The initiative aims to build the world's largest hydropower dam on the Yarlung Zangbo River. It's designed to completely dwarf the Three Gorges Dam. The Three Gorges has long been the global benchmark for megadams. The sheer scale is breathtaking. Plans involve a series of 5 cascade hydropower stations. Working together, they generate an estimated 300 billion kilowatt-hours annually. That's more than the entire yearly power consumption of a country like Great Britain. The financial commitment is equally monumental. The estimated cost is around 1.2 trillion yuan, which translates to about 167 billion US dollars. The reservoir is projected to hold about 40 billion cubic meters of water, giving Beijing unprecedented control over the river's flow. Construction reportedly began in 2024. For China, the Melog Dam is a cornerstone of national strategy. It promises a vast supply of clean, renewable energy, essential for meeting the country's ambitious climate targets and reducing reliance on coal. However, its location, just upstream from India, raises serious concern. In direct response to China's colossal project upstream, India has fast-tracked its own ambitious plan, the Siang Upper Multipurpose Project, or SUMP, located in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, where the Yarlung Zangbo enters India and becomes the Siang River. This project is envisioned as India's definitive answer to the Melog megadam. It is set to be the largest hydroelectric project in India's history. The plan was first proposed around 2017. It involves constructing a massive dam with a reservoir capable of holding approximately 9 billion cubic meters of water. That strategic storage is crucial to mitigate impacts of China's upstream activities and to help India maintain some control over the river's flow. The Siang Dam is not just about water storage, it is a powerhouse in its own right. Upon completion, it is designed for an installed capacity of 11,000 megawatts, generating a significant amount of electricity for India's national grid. The National Hydroelectric Power Corporation began pre-feasibility and site selection work in 2025. Broader construction is planned in phases over 15 to 20 years. The estimated cost stands at 1.13 lakh crore rupees, about 13.2 billion US dollars. This project signals India won't be a passive observer. The strategic rationale is multifaceted. Officials say the dam serves 3 primary purposes. First, generate a large volume of clean energy. Second, maintain a year-round regulated flow in the Siang River. Third, the reservoir can absorb sudden, massive releases from upstream, mitigating flood risk. While the Siang Upper Multipurpose Project is being framed in New Delhi as a matter of national necessity, the view from the ground in Arunachal Pradesh is far more complex, and honestly, filled with anxiety. For the indigenous communities living along the Siang River, the proposed mega dam is not a symbol of progress but a looming threat to their very existence. Strong protests have erupted across the Siang and Upper Siang districts. Local people fear the catastrophic impact the project will have on their lives, lands, and culture. These are not abstract concerns. They're deeply personal fears rooted in a profound connection to the river. The valley has nurtured culture for centuries. Their spiritual ties run deep. The most immediate and devastating impact would be the large-scale displacement of people. According to local warnings and initial estimates, the dam's massive reservoir would completely submerge at least 20 villages, with nearly 24 more being partially drowned. Communities like Parong and Ru, situated on the banks of the river, have been at the forefront of the protests, fighting to protect their ancestral homes from being wiped off the map. This would mean the uprooting of thousands of residents, forcing them to abandon lands their families have farmed for generations, severing their deep cultural and spiritual ties to the river, which they consider a sacred entity. Beyond the loss of homes, there are grave environmental concerns. The region is a fragile ecological hotspot, rich in biodiversity. Opponents warn that flooding such a vast area will destroy pristine forests and wildlife habitats, and disrupt the delicate Himalayan ecosystem in ways that may be irreversible. Local civil society organizations have mobilized, holding peaceful protests, and engaging in tense consultative meetings with government representatives. From the perspective of India's strategic and military establishment, the Siang Upper Multipurpose Project is not just a choice but an imperative, driven by national security. The primary catalyst for this view is China's Melog mega dam, which is widely seen in New Delhi as a potential strategic weapon. Some Indian military officers have starkly described the Chinese project as a water bomb. This alarming term refers to the potential for China to either withhold water, creating drought-like conditions downstream, or to release a huge volume of water suddenly, causing catastrophic floods in India's northeastern states. This capability would give Beijing enormous leverage over India, a prospect that security planners find totally unacceptable. This concern is amplified by the lack of a formal water-sharing treaty between the two nations, and the general opacity surrounding China's dam operations. Without binding agreements on data sharing and flow regulation, India is left in a vulnerable position, largely dependent on Beijing's goodwill. Arunachal Pradesh's Deputy Chief Minister Chowna Main has been unequivocal about this.
He stated, "The Siang Dam will be our counter to the Chinese megadam. This is a matter of national security."
The Indian dam is intended to act as a crucial buffer, absorbing sudden water releases from China, providing a strategic reserve in case of water being withheld. But the geological instability of the region adds another layer of security risk. Experts point out the area is highly seismic and prone to landslides. An earthquake near China's massive dam could trigger a breach, unleashing a devastating wall of water downstream. As India and China forge ahead with their monumental dam projects, the future of the Himalayan river system hangs in a delicate and uncertain balance. These engineering marvels, born of national ambition and strategic rivalry, promise immense rewards, clean energy, water control. However, they also cast long shadows of risk and controversy. The central debate continues to revolve around whether the purported benefits of these mega dams, energy security, flood mitigation, economic growth, can ever truly justify the profound and potentially irreversible costs to people and the environment. This question remains largely unanswered. One of the most pressing issues is the profound human cost, particularly for India's Siang project. The voices of the indigenous communities in Arunachal Pradesh, who face the loss of their ancestral lands, homes, and cultural heritage, raise fundamental questions about the ethics of top-down development. Is it just for a nation to sacrifice the well-being of its own citizens in one region for a perceived national security benefit? Scientists have warned about the risks of reservoir-induced seismicity, where the immense weight of the water can trigger earthquakes. Furthermore, disrupting the river's natural flow of silt will impact the fertility of downstream floodplains, affecting agriculture for millions in Assam and Bangladesh. The long-term ecological consequences remain a giant, unsettling unknown.